Broadcasting from the Attention Era Media Studios in downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin, this is What's the Score, the Sports News Quiz. I'm your game master, Josh Scheibe, the man who really, really wishes he could wear pineapple pants in a professional capacity. Congratulations, John Daly. You are an inspiration to SpongeBob SquarePants and John Candy enthusiasts everywhere. And now, here's a man who's an inspiration, at least to me, the host of What's the Score, Baxter Colburn.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, everybody. I believe that's a compliment, but I appreciate it, Josh. We have a great show in store for you today. Lots of excitement, a new panelist, 2 returners, and a lot of excitement that we are thrilled to have. And we want to remind all of you, too, that if you want to play our games on the air, you can visit our website, WTSSportsQuiz.com, or visit our Facebook and Twitter pages and sign up for some sports quiz fun.
You can also find the show on demand on the Sports Podcasting Network, Spreaker, iTunes, Stitcher, and Vavel USA.
All right, let's meet our panelists this week. First up, he is an Emmy nominee, an ordained minister, and a sports anchor at 620 WTMJ in Milwaukee. Please welcome Doug Russell.
Hello again, everybody. Thank you.
Nice to see you again, Mr. Russell. How have you been?
I'm well. I'm good.
It's great to see you again.
I'm having flashbacks. I'm back in a building I used to live in.
Oh.
This is crazy.
It is.
I like it.
Well, it's crazy to have you back, so we're thrilled.
And I'm crazy to be here. No, I'm kidding.
Something like that. All right. Moving on. He is the sports director at CBS 58 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Please welcome Mr. Kevin Holden.
Thank you very much. I think the biggest shock here is that the last time I saw you guys, there were 3 or 4 of you. Now there's like 500 of you.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah, it's nice when everybody shows up. So we actually have a nice little professional operation here. But we're glad to have you back, Kevin. And finally, we have the lead sports anchor for TMJ4 in Milwaukee. Please welcome Mr. Lance Allan.
Thank you very much. And I have not lived in this building before, so I have never been in this building before. Maybe Doug can show me around later.
We'll have a tour later.
Oh,
thank you.
Yes. Very exclusive. I heard you said that there's a mansion on the 22nd floor.
Yeah,
here?
The mansion up on the 21st, 22nd floor.
Is that where the Russell estate used to be?
Russell Suites.
Russell
Suites, Stately Russell Manor.
Isn't that a candy company, Russell Suites?
I think it might be.
I think so.
I think it's Russell Stover.
Yes. Patent pending,
Wow.
Of course. Well, welcome to the show panel. Kevin and Doug, it's good to see you guys again, of course. And Lance, welcome to the madness, and may the odds be ever in your favor as well today.
Well, it's time to get this show on the road with our first contestant game. Joining us on the phone to play Quotable Context is Matt, not that one, Ryan. Welcome to the show, Matt.
Thank you for having me.
So let's get all the formalities out of the side. This is not Matt Ryan of the Atlanta Falcons. Am I correct about that?
Yes, I'm better in the clutch, and my winning percentage is a little higher in the playoffs.
Oh, even better. Well, I think Arthur Blank is on the phone with you as we speak, I feel like. All right. Well, we're happy to have you here, Matt. You're going to be playing our game called Quotable Context, where Game Master Scheibe will read you 5 quotes from this week's news, and you must correctly identify the context of each quote. Answer 3 out of 5 questions correctly, and you will win a What's the Score prize. If you do get stuck, though, on a question, Matt, you are allowed to ask one of our amazing panelists for a clue, but only on one question. Are you ready to play, sir?
I'm ready. Let's get this going.
All right, here is your first quote.
There will be carnage. Plenty of carnage. Count on it.
That was golfer Grameen McDowell talking about the postage stamp that is a part of what major golf tournament that wraps up action today?
Let's see. The Players' Championship.
The Players' Championship? There's a more official term for that. That's taking place. There's a one that's taking place today.
The USPS Players' Championship.
I like your enthusiasm, but no, unfortunately not. It's the British Open that's taking place today. Some Brits, they call it the Open because they say the U.S. has so many other major tournaments that they say, hey, let us have this one. I mean, considering everything that's going on with Brexit and everything else, I feel like we should just give them the Open just to soothe their wounds.
Baxter, I had no idea that the U.S. Postal Service sponsored the British Open.
USPS,
I already learned something on this show.
FedEx.
This is amazing.
Well, doesn't the FedEx have
I
something?
heard postage stamp, so I just decided.
All it means is Brexit as a destination now.
Exactly. We were wondering.
They'll still lose it, though.
Ooh. All right, here's your next quote, Matt.
They've become the villain. Everybody's going to root for them to lose.
That was Mark Cuban of the Dallas Mavericks saying that what NBA team is going to have every fan wishing they lose a lot this upcoming NBA season?
Well, let's see. It's not the Brooklyn Nets. It's not the Utah Jazz. I'm going to guess the Golden State Warriors.
Yes, that is correct. Nicely done. As many folks know, the Warriors are buying everybody past and present to be on their team this year, of course, with Kevin Durant joining. Now, though, the expectations have skyrocketed. I mean, realistically, though, panel, I'm curious, will the Warriors win more than 73 games this year, now that they have Durant?
I think they might. 73-9, that's going to be a difficult task to get past, and everything has to go right. You can't have Durant get injured. You can't have Steph Curry get injured, but I didn't think they would get 73 wins this year, but they did. So
I'm going to call one shot, though. The Bucks are the streak breakers. They broke the undefeated streak last year. They broke the Lakers streak all those years ago. The Bucks will probably have their number again.
Probably.
I'll make one prediction on this, too. I think people will also root for Mark Cuban to lose a lot in the next upcoming season.
Well, I think the biggest thing that so many people are struggling with that I've heard is who takes the last shot. If you're the Warriors, you've got Draymond Green, you've got Kevin Durant, Steph Curry. I mean, who takes that final shot?
And you forgot about Klay Thompson,
and Klay Thompson as well, too.
And you're right. They're going to have an unselfish mentality because somebody is going to be that guy.
I'd agree.
And the other ones
Someone's
have to buy
into
it.
Exactly,
Absolutely.
but with so many options, too, you might leave somebody open.
I also think Ray Allen might come out of retirement.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, and
I feel like I would buy a Ray Allen Warriors jersey. I feel like.
Look, he saved the Miami Heat's bacon a couple of years ago.
Sugar Ray is still in phenomenal shape. I talked to somebody with the Bucks. They said he could probably drop 5 threes on somebody today. So seriously.
Why not? Bring him on. All right, Matt, here's your next quote.
If I missed a game, it meant I was losing the battle. I'm not going to let leukemia hurt me.
That was what notable sports reporter who was this year's Jimmy V Perseverance Award winner at the ESPYs?
That would be Craig Sager, the man with the best jackets outside of Don Cherry.
Yes, that is correct.
I've been encouraging Lance to use some of those same jackets.
I really feel like you should. I mean, you're very professional, Lance. Of course, being on TV, and Kevin, of course, you too. But you got to break out the. Did he have like a rose, like flower petal jacket, or what?
All I know is when I entered this building, I saw like some shades on a lamp that looked like a perfect tie.
You should have just grabbed it. And
I'm going to go with it.
I love it.
On the way out the door,
I'm going to watch
missing,
tomorrow.
It wasn't me. That's all I'm saying.
I love it. All right, Matt. Here's your next quote.
They were the best team in the playoffs. They should have won a championship. They were better than us.
That was Andre Iguodala talking about what Western Conference foe that nearly beat the Warriors in the playoffs this year that he believes should have won a championship.
Well, it's not the Seattle Supersonics, so I'll go for the next best thing. That's the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yes, that is correct.
Baxter, hang on a second. I'm getting a phone call from Russell Westbrook. He's offering his services to the show. Literally paying him $1 and he will be here.
He was like, just get me out of Oklahoma. And I've heard rumors recently that the Boston Celtics are trying to bring everybody. I've heard they're trying to get Blake Griffin. I've heard they're trying to bring in Russell Westbrook as well, too. At this point, though, if you're Russell Westbrook, do you want to get out of Dodge or do you want to just try to deal with it?
I think he's wanted to get out of Dodge for a while.
Yeah, I think so.
Seems,
and now that his big brother Kevin's gone, he's like,
Yeah. The other thing is, with this comment, and I know Doug is going to hate me going here, but Kevin's going to love it, this is like professional wrestling.
Here we go.
Where
That's
you
one.
go,
Somebody keep track. That's one.
There's one reference.
Don't worry, I'm keeping score.
Wrestling equals life. We're gonna have this mantra through the whole thing. But tell me if I'm wrong. What is Iguodala doing with these comments? He's basically going heel and saying everybody's going to hate us. So come on, the Thunder should have won last year. How on earth did we beat them?
Right, and that's going to be
mind games.
Well, it's literally what the NBA is going, at least in the Western Conference, is going to. You're going to have the heels and the favorites of the crowd. I mean, they might as well just put a cage around him and let him go. For 6 months.
A lot of wrestling talk, and Doug and I are looking at each other like, so, weather's nice today.
I used to live here.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Matt, here's your final quote.
Okay.
1.3 million people in Cleveland, and they still can't find a good quarterback?
That was who during his opening monologue this week when he hosted this year's ESPY Awards.
Well, speaking of pro wrestling, that is the man who personifies hustle, loyalty, respect, and jorts. That would be John Cena.
Wow, yes, John Cena. We don't have his theme queued up now.
Speaking of wrestling, actually, you can find my wrestling company, 2KW Pro. We are going to be live on July 30th in the Bronx at Darrow's Extreme Fitness on 1123 Close Avenue. Tickets are only $10 online. Ticket and a T-shirt's $20. And TNA Impact's former Knockouts champion Jade will be in the house. And you can also watch all of our matches for absolutely free on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/2K W, or on the Fight app, or on gumroad.com. Simply search 2KW Pro.
Matt, will there be a Spanish announcer?
Yes, do you need a Spanish announcer? Senor Holden would be more than
I was
willing.
told that there was going to be commercial breaks. I didn't have
we don't even know. Let's just roll on with the show. Game Master Shivey, how did Matt do on our quiz?
He got 4 out of 5 correct. He's a winner!
Hey! Thank you so much for playing, Matt. We appreciate it.
Looks like we're heading to our first break now, but when we come back, our panelists will have their first crack at showcasing their knowledge of this week's sports news. You're listening to What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz.
Two Up Front is the American soccer show on the Sports Podcasting Network. Join Baxter Colburn and Simon Provan on Fridays at 11:30 a.m. Central as they cover all things American soccer, with weekly guests from the pro, college, and youth ranks and digging deep into the American professional leagues. Two Up Front gives you the insight you're looking for. Airing at 11:30 a.m. Central on SportsPodcastingNetwork.com, it's Two Up Front, the world's game from an American perspective.
Hey, it's Kevin of the Sports Podcasting Network on SPN. On top of What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz, you can find a plethora of great sports podcasts. Hardwood Radio, Gridiron Radio, Sports, It's in the Game, Scuderia F1, the second most listened to F1 podcast in the whole world, Soccer Today, live radio shows like Open Lines After Dark, MLS Postgame Show, 202 Soccer Podcast, Off the Woodworks, and much, much more. All that on the Sports Podcasting Network.com.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz. I'm your game master, Josh Scheibe. This week, our panelists are Lance Allan, Doug Russell, and Kevin Holden. And now, here's your host at the Attention Era Media Studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Baxter Colburn.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, everybody. Time now for our panelists to showcase their knowledge about this past week's sports news. Mr. Russell, we'll start with you, sir.
All right.
As you may or may not know, losing an NBA championship can make some people feel pretty upset, of course. But this week, we learned that what Warriors player found himself in trouble with the law, which may or may not have been related to him losing a championship.
Oh, boy. Who did wind up? I don't know, Draymond Green?
Yes, that is correct. Nicely done.
Shot in the dark. We'll take it. I just took a chance.
Took a chance. Yeah, Mr. Green, he got in trouble. He hit a Michigan State player, his former alma mater. He got in a little bit of a scuffle. His blood alcohol level was at 0.10. He wasn't released until he was sober, of course, as well, too. But
a Spartan scrap.
Yes, that's what they were saying. The Spartan scrap, a little bit of a scuffle, but doesn't seem like any charges are really going to be filed. Green did plead not guilty. I don't know.
Let's chalk it up to a misunderstanding.
Yes, we'll just you know what? Here's a couple million, kid. Transfer. Have yourself a nice day. I don't know.
All right, Kevin, the next one's for you. Despite all the rumors, it turns out that what former NFL player is not actually speaking at next week's Republican convention?
I'm going to have to go with Tim Tebow on that one.
I would have found a way to end up in Cleveland if Mr. Tebow would have spoken, because you think Donald Trump, you think Tim Tebow, you think oil water. I don't understand. I'm glad it was a rumor, and that's why Tim posted that video too and everything, but little surprising to hear that even Tim was rumored, but I mean they'll have all the normal political people there.
Well,
but,
the interesting thing to me is that he's not going to speak, but what he is going to do is renovate a house and then unveil it for him at the end of the convention.
Terrible. Wow. Oh my goodness. All right, Lance, question for you, sir. It's over. It's finally over, or is it? Yeah. With this week, we found out that fans of the New England Patriots can finally put everything to rest after they heard that Tom Brady said he is doing what?
He is finally giving up his appeal of deflate.
Yes, that is correct.
The national nightmare is over.
Or is it?
Or is it?
Or is it? Roger Goodell is sitting in his office petting a cat, laughing to himself, going, oh, good, finally. But at this point, I mean, the Patriots, they have Jimmy Garoppolo. Last season, it was more of a concern because, we don't know if Jimmy can perform. He's had a whole other year to sit behind Tom Brady, I feel like, for 4 games. But
it's the first 4 games, not the last 4 games.
Well, yes, but Belichick, though, has been very much, he's like, look, we care more about games, 15, 16, 17, 18 than we do the first 4 of the year. You're still trying to figure out your team at that point, too.
Also thought it was kind of odd that those first 4 are against San Jose State, Hawaii.
The school of the blind. And then, it was. I think they're going to play us, too, I think, in touch football. What's the score, you? It's very interesting, but I feel like
How
at
is your
this
football
point,
team, by the way?
It's a rebuilding year for us. So,
There you go.
we're still looking for a quarterback. Lance, if you want to maybe step in.
A long time ago, my left arm kind of cashed it in, so I'm, man. I'm kind of like Tim Tebow in that aspect.
Can you throw a slant across the middle and let the receiver do all the work?
I don't hit a lot of open targets. Let's put it that way.
Fair enough.
Well, we're heading to a break, but when we come back, our second contestant will have a chance to play one of our new games. Come back in just a few minutes when we're back here on What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz. What's the Score would like to take this time to thank one of our partners, Vavel USA, the international online sports newspaper, for their support. Head over to vavel.com/en-US today as they provide professional reporting on all major sports in the USA. Follow them on Twitter at Vavel_USA and go like their Facebook page for prime access to the ultimate source for sports coverage on the web. We here at What's the Score are proud to partner with a terrific organization like Vavel USA.
Hey guys, this is Baxter, the host of What's the Score, the sports news quiz. Want to take a minute to remind all of you to go and check us out on social media. You can find us on Facebook at What's the Score, the sports news quiz, on Twitter at WTS Sports Quiz, and on Instagram at WTS Sports Quiz as well. And if you enjoy the whole hashtag game, like some of us like to do, hashtag goals, hashtag believer, hashtag, I don't know, I'm running out of hashtags. Anyway, use the hashtag What's the Score on Twitter and Instagram and check out some of the other exclusive content that we do as well. Connecting all of us one smartphone at a time.
Hello all and welcome back to the Attention Era Media Studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This is What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz. I'm Josh Scheibe, your game master. We have some Milwaukee broadcasting royalty here today. Doug Russell, Kevin Holden, and Lance Allan, and they all have the opportunity to show their prowess in just
royalty,
a little bit.
Huh? Wow.
That's
a good word.
Behind me.
Somebody over here is royal something. That's all I'm going to say.
Before we get into too much of that, here's the host of What's the Score. I did. Baxter Colburn.
Oh, thank you, Josh. Thank you. Coming up, we put our panelists to the test in our Name 5 panelist showdown. But if you would like to play our games on the air, visit our website, WTSSportsQuiz.com, and you can sign up and play our games today.
Playing our next game is Peter Fiorentino. Welcome to the show, Peter.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Thanks for having me.
Well, Peter, it was a very sad week in the sports world as NBA legend Tim Duncan retired from the San Antonio Spurs. Duncan is calling it quits after 19 glorious seasons of sexy outlet passes and 5 NBA championships.
In this game, which we're calling Slam Duncan, no, we're not proud of that one. Anyway, in this game, we will ask you 6 questions about Duncan, and you must correctly answer at least 4 of them. If you do, you'll win a What's the Score prize. If you get stuck, you can ask one panelist for a hint, but on only one question. So are you ready to play?
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, here is your first question. Before Duncan became a star on the basketball court, he was first a champion in which sport? Was it A, volleyball, B, swimming, or C, curling?
It was swimming.
Yes, that is correct. Nicely done. He's got
Thank
the
you.
long frame for it. You know, it'd have been curious to see, but he said the reason that he gave up swimming is because where he used to live, there was a massive hurricane that came through and took out the only pool, so he had to switch to an indoor sport, which turned out to be basketball. All right, Peter, here's your next one. Tim Duncan was once ejected from an NBA game for doing what? Was it A, crashing into the scorer's table and kissing the PA announcer on the head, B, slapping Blake Griffin with a towel, or C, laughing at official Joey Crawford's calls while sitting on the bench?
That's one I got to ask the panelists for.
Okay.
So what are my options?
You have Mr. Lance Allan, Doug Russell, or Kevin Holden.
I'm going Lance Allan this one.
Lance Allan. All right, Mr. Allan, how can you provide our good friend Peter with a hint?
Peter, they always say that laughter is the best medicine, but it may not be in this aspect.
Ooh, all right. What do you got for us now based off of that hint, Peter?
Can you read me the answers again?
Yeah. Yes.
I confused him.
He's
Great.
like, wait a minute.
That wasn't good.
All right, so it was A, crashing into the scores table and kissing the PA announcer on the head, slapping Blake Griffin with a towel, or laughing at official Joey Crawford's calls while sitting on the bench.
I will go with C.
Yes, that is correct. Nicely done.
Thanks, Lance. Appreciate it.
Peter, you successfully hit the curveball. Congratulations.
Well done, well done.
Good.
All right, here's your next one.
It's no secret that Duncan is a nerd. Well, if it was, it's not a secret anymore, especially considering that he went and got what tattooed on his chest? Was it A, Pikachu, B, Merlin the Wizard, or C, Harry Potter's scar?
Repeat the questions again. The answers again.
Sure
Used
thing.
his hint too early, I feel like.
It's no secret that Duncan's a nerd. Or if it was,
Right.
it's not a secret anymore because he got what tattooed on his chest? Was it A, Pikachu, B, Merlin the Wizard, or C, Harry Potter's scar?
I'll go with Merlin the Wizard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nicely done. It's a good size, too. It's like right over his
Honestly,
heart, too.
I would have Pikachu tattooed on my chest over Merlin. But
I
that's
feel
okay.
like that would have been the
already
norm. You don't even know what a Pokemon is, Doug. We can play that audio clip if we need to. Oh, what?
If you had that tattooed, you'd have people standing near you with phones randomly.
Yeah, I can't catch him. What's a Doug Russell? I want to catch one. All right, Peter.
I was
here's your-
drunk. I was in Vegas. That's all I can say.
All right. Here's your next one, Peter. Duncan is the only player in NBA history, not NFL, NBA history, to do what? Is it A, win over 1,000 games with the same team, B, win 4 finals MVP awards, or C, make 1,000 free throws exactly?
Dang, that's tough. It's definitely not the MVP. I'm going to go with 1,000 games, same team.
Yes, that is correct.
All right.
Nicely done,
Awesome.
nicely done. All right, here's your next question.
When Duncan was a rookie, not only did he win Rookie of the Year, but he also did what? Was it A, lead the NBA in free throw percentage, B, win Rookie of the Month every month of the season, or C, spent more time on the bench than on the floor?
Shoot. I'll go with the last one. Spending more time on the bench than on the floor.
No, that is incorrect. He actually won Rookie of the Month every single month of his rookie season. To my knowledge,
wow.
the only
There
rookie
you go.
to do
Me
that.
too.
Oh wow, that makes so much sense. All right, here's your final question, Peter. While he was a student at Wake Forest, Duncan not only played basketball for 4 seasons, but he also did what? Was it A, he co-authored a chapter of a psychology book, B, he wrote freshmen's essays for $50 apiece, or he worked as a part-time librarian?
Let's go with A.
Yes, that is correct.
Strong show.
Yes. All right.
And
Game
in a
Master
related
Shivey.
note,
Oh,
Doug
yes.
Russell took Hooked on Phonics recently.
Did he?
Yeah.
Did it work for you, sir?
How about that?
Yeah, I feel that's an applause, too.
Still learning how to read.
Still learning how to read. That's why he's in radio, not TV.
Right.
He can't read the teleprompter.
Peter, do you have any wrestling upcoming promotions to promote? This is probably the time to do it.
The reason we asked Peter is our last contestant spent about a good 30 seconds promoting an upcoming wrestling event. Do you have an upcoming event you'd like people to tune into or listen or watch since you have the floor for a moment?
Yeah, in about an hour, I'll be hopping behind the mic. I'm calling New York Penn League short season single A baseball. The team I work for is the Houston Astros minor league system. It's their short season single A team. So if you want to listen at 4 o'clock Central Time.
Okay.
After the show, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, fantastic. Well, Game Master Shivey, how did Peter do on our game?
Peter got 5 out of 6 correct. He's a winner!
Nicely done. Thank you so much for playing, Peter. We appreciate it.
I don't know who.
Oh, he's gone.
We cut him off. Sorry, Peter. We love you still. All right, more questions for our panelists now. Kevin, we'll start with you. Team USA has something taking place for the very first time heading into this Olympics that involves both their women's soccer team and their women's volleyball team. What is that?
Oh, boy. Here comes the high heat. Yeah!
You got one softball question, and now.
And the thing is, the temptation to answer is overwhelmed by the Zika. You know what I mean? It's like, there's no way, man. There's no way.
99 miles an hour, right at your chin.
There
There we go.
I'm taking it for strike 3, dude. What?
You can ask for a hint if you'd like to.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
If you didn't know, our panelists, you can ask for a hint. I mean, you guys have been on before.
Who do we ask? That's the
You can ask.
question.
You can ask Mike or Game Master Shivey.
I'm asking you.
Okay, you can ask me. Let's say the hint I can give you is that there's it's related to 2 different players, but they may have been getting each other's mail for a couple of years.
Wow.
Another
I don't
one.
think that helped.
So
and I've been last time I got on him for giving too easy clues.
Well, he stepped up.
You want to hear
Danger.
hear the question again?
Yeah, one more time.
Okay, so Team USA has something taking place for the very first time heading into this Olympics that it both involves their women's soccer team and their women's volleyball team.
You've got players living together.
No, that is not it, unfortunately. There are actually 2 players named Carly Lloyd.
Really?
Yes, first time. And Carly Lloyd, of course, for the women's soccer team, FIFA Player of the Year last year, World Cup, all that jazz. But there is a volleyball player as well, Carly Lloyd. But similar to the same thing, she's been very important for the women's volleyball team. But she says people have been messaging her, too, and being like, oh, congratulations on the World Cup. And she's like, that's the other Carly Lloyd. But, I mean, if you look at the picture, you'd be able to know. But
Being
anyway,
a journalist, I feel like I have to ask, is this the first instance of human
to my
cloning?
knowledge, yes, it is.
I just have to ask that.
Yes, I believe
Okay.
Carly's
You
got
heard it
about
here on
7 or
What's
8
the Score?
years.
Yes, Carly Lloyd, first human clone. Take it and run with it.
Yes, they said they haven't met yet officially, but
Wow.
they would like to, hopefully, since they will be at Rio together.
All right, Lance, the next one's for you.
Great.
College.
After that last one, this is going to be a doozy. That's what I'm waiting for.
College football fans received some terrific news this past week as which 2 schools announced they're bringing back their old rivalry?
You know what? I just had a discussion with the one and only Charles Woodson about this. It's Michigan and Notre Dame.
Name dropper.
He
Yes.
is a huge Michigan fan.
I'd hope so.
And I always tell him, the reason why it came up is I always tell him it's the second best school in the Big Ten next to Wisconsin, my alma mater. But then he was all bragging about how Michigan and Notre Dame are back.
That is, yes. So that is it. In order to make room for this, for Notre Dame, Michigan had to cancel its series with Arkansas, which is probably the best thing that they could do. I think they had to pay them about $1 million or $2 million to get rid of their 2018 and 2019. Michigan does own the series. I'm curious to know what you guys think, though, about this historic rivalry being brought back.
I think it's cool. I always like traditions and rivalries, but I did do a little research and found out that there's a John Smith on each roster.
Oh, how interesting.
Related to our last question. That's why I was groaning, because I thought it'd be some crazy question.
Mr. Russell, what do you think?
I like it. Anytime that, and I'm not a fan of either school, but anytime that you can get 2 historic rivalries playing together, I think it's great for the sport. I think it helps grow the sport, and people be into it.
In the tradition of what's been happening lately with the big rivalries, though, they've got to play like one on an aircraft carrier, one of the games. I think
that would be awesome.
A space station or something.
Yeah, cage match.
Yes.
There you go, another wrestling reference.
Yeah,
Mark it down.
there we go.
Every segment, it's going to be guaranteed.
It's good for at least one.
I knew that walking in today.
Yes, exactly. All right, Doug, last question here is for you. After signing a new 4-year, $16.8 million deal, what player now becomes the second highest paid kicker in NFL history?
Oh, boy. Second highest paid kicker. And I don't know who signed a deal this week. I'm just going to go with Sebastian Janikowski.
No, that is incorrect. It is Mr. Justin Tucker of the Baltimore Ravens. Justin Tucker, he got the franchise tag last year, and then they were able to re-sign him to a deal. His numbers are incredible. He has never missed an extra point as he enters into his 5th season, and he is 78 of 79 on career field goals inside 40 yards.
I think I just went with the second oldest kicker in NFL history.
Yes, Janikowski.
He was drafted in 1971. So.
Was he really?
Yeah.
What?
It's true.
I feel like that's not true.
I don't
I feel like I've known you for more than a second, Doug. I feel like I don't know if that's true or not.
All right, well, we're almost going to head to another break, but first, I want to make a note that Lance got an additional point for giving a successful hint on our last contestant game.
Yeah.
Nicely done, Lance.
What type of a hint was that again? Announcer man?
A successful...
Oh,
that one.
All right, well, we're going to a break now.
The FCC's calling. We need to go.
Hello.
We'll be right back, and our panelists will have another chance to answer some questions about this week's sports news. Don't go away. You're listening to What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz.
Hey guys, this is Baxter Colburn, host of What's the Score, the Sports News Quiz. If you enjoy listening to What's the Score, why not go and donate to our Patreon account today? That's patreon.com. Search for What's the Score and donate today. You can get awesome t-shirts, before the show shout-outs, and so much more. Tell your friends about us. Hey, if you donate, we'd be happy to give you a shout-out and even have you come on the show and play a game or two with us as well.
James Corsmo of TitletownSoundoff.com here with the man they call Bobo.
Howdy.
and we want to tell you a bit about our podcast, Titletown Sound.
We're fans of the Green Bay Packers, as I'm sure many of you are, and we know there are plenty of opinions out there, but we think we give you some unique takes that vary between the level-headed and sensible, all the way to the entertainingly absurd.
That's our specialty, the entertainingly absurd.
Sure is. We've got other hosts to talk sensible-like.
So the website is Titletown Sound Off, and the podcast is Titletown Sound?
That's right.
So the podcast just leaves off the off.
Yes.
So fans of the Packers should go in to TitletownSoundOff.com to get into the podcast.
Exactly.
That's a lot of prepositions.
Sure is, James. It sure is. Now back to two of my favorite prepositions on the interwebs, Baxter and Josh.
Those are nouns.
Oh yeah.
Welcome back to What's the Score, the Sports News Quiz, and thanks for listening in. We're broadcasting from the Attention Era Media Studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm your game master, Josh Scheibe, and we're playing this week with Kevin Holden, Lance Allan, and Doug Russell. And here, once again, is your host of What's the Score, Baxter Colburn.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, everybody. Time now for a segment that we've debuted the last 2 weeks that I am very excited about. It is Stump the Scheibe.
Name that tune.
I am now going to have to play that every time I walk into a room.
Yes,
It's
you're
like the
I'm
eclectic
here.
music show. It's like jazz, and then you
Yeah.
have like
Tone, isn't it?
earlier we went to break, and it was like country, and all of a sudden Pantera jumped out at us. I don't know what's going on here, Baxter. I'm
It's-
confused.
You got to keep it up.
I'm a
You gotta keep it
middle-aged
upbeat.
guy that kind of likes to be in the center lane, and all of a sudden everything's coming at me here.
Dubstep is the next commercial.
That's going to be my Imperial March now.
Yeah,
every time
so-
I walk into a room.
Yes, I like it. All right, well, it's time for Stump the Scheibe. The way it works is I give Game Master Scheibe two supposed factual sports facts, I guess. That's the word I'm looking for English. I have to be at a different screen to not look at my factual facts. I went to private school and was homeschooled for
Doug has his Hooked on Phonics book.
Thank you, Doug. I haven't gotten to Chapter 8 yet. Common sense. Oh, my gosh. All right, so the way it works is Game Master Scheibe, I will give you two sports facts. One of them is false. You need to tell me which one it is by using deductive reasoning, hand signals, choreography, whatever you decide to use. Are you ready?
As ready as I'm ever.
All right, here is your first one. Back in 1958, the Red Sox and the Yankees were set to play a 4-game series in New York. However, 3 games in, half the Yankees got food poisoning. The Yankees ended up having to ask their crosstown rivals, the Mets, for 1 game's worth of filler players. New York still lost 6-1. That's your first one. Your second one. During World War II, because both teams lost so many players to military service, the Pittsburgh Steelers and Philadelphia Eagles had to combine to become the Steagles for the 1943 season. Which one is the real fact?
Ooh, this is a tough one.
It
okay.
is. It is, yes.
Oh, it's a very good question. I must say I've never heard of the Steagles, but I'm also not up on the what was it? 1943.
1943 was the Steagles, and then
1943
that
NFL
baseball
is
one
not
was
really my specialty.
58, yes.
I
You haven't really heard of too many Hall of Fame Steagles. I feel like
no.
you know.
Though if it was just for the 1 year, that's not entirely.
If they played
surprising.
really well,
I suppose.
know.
Well, let's see. Can you just repeat the first one for me, please?
Yeah, so the summary of it basically is that back in 1958, the Red Sox and the Yankees were playing a 4-game series in New York.
Sure.
After Game 3, half of the Yankees roster got sick with food poisoning, so they pleaded with the New York Mets, their crosstown rivals, but also still same city, said, hey, can you give us just a bunch of filler players? They did. They played the game, but New York still lost.
All right, I'm going to go with that one, actually.
Oh, are you really?
I am.
That is incorrect.
Oh.
No. That is incorrect. The Steagles were a real thing, I feel like. I'm
And
sure.
the Mets didn't exist until 1962.
And is that what
That
they
would have been
called
good to
them?
know.
That was, yes. That was the
That's what they
official name.
called
They
them.
were the Steagles
Yep.
just for 1943.
Well, he said the Mets didn't exist before 62, but the hint you should have gotten there was it would have been, if it was true, the Yankees signed $100 million contracts with everyone.
Yes, for one game.
That was
for one game. A one-day, $100 million contract.
And Grandpa Justin Tucker was already complaining that he was underpaid after
Yes.
he signed the contract
Yes, exactly.
in a different sport. Yeah.
Somehow, when he was not cage
Janikowski
wrestling,
was the kicker.
Yes,
Yeah, he
you,
still
you know
was.
he was drafted back in '43. You know that's what they say. He played for the
37,
Steagles. 37. I'm so sorry. All right. With that being said, I believe we have some more panelist questions, Game Master Scheibe. Am I
We
correct
do
about
indeed.
that?
It's time for our last slate of questions for our panelists this week. Lance, the first one's for you. Luxury has no boundaries, and because of that, Mercedes is releasing a new and improved version of what common sports vehicle?
Ooh, this is a tough one because I did not know you were going to go the car route on me. I am going to say the two-door convertible.
No, that is incorrect. It is a golf cart.
A golf cart?
A golf cart. That includes...
Spinners?
Leather-trimmed cabinets.
Hydraulics?
Bluetooth speakers. Touchscreen display.
A booming system?
Yes, a booming system.
Nice.
You can drive up to 50 miles an hour. It's got a cooler. It's got everything.
tight.
Wow.
It's beautiful.
Can I get that thing up on 3 wheels like a Snoop Dogg video? if I'm paying top dollar for this thing, I want to come in and I want to look like the old Dre Snoop days. That's my wheelhouse, man.
Then you're going to need a smoke machine. Have the door open.
Yes.
Doesn't have any doors on it.
Because I've
I'm sure
passed every test so far that I've taken, so yes, it's got to be
When's the last time?
smoke.
Yeah, knock on wood. You don't get drug tested on what's the score. But we might have to randomly. I think the NFL's here. It might be time for you.
Wow, I did not expect the golf cart question.
Yeah, golf carts.
Interesting.
Kevin, question for you, sir. Staying in the wrestling world.
I'm scared to
I
death.
found one. I brought a wrestling question into the show.
Speaking of wrestling, no, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Hey, Master Shabby, what's our wrestling question?
Well, fans of WWE have something to look forward to in the near future. The Big Show challenged what retired NBA star to a fight this week?
Oh, this is easy.
Oh, no.
That's why we didn't give it to Lance.
Now I'm going to get my wrestling card revoked.
I'm going to beat you from pillar to post if you don't get this question right.
You're going to make me go to Bronx for that.
Or
thing
I'm going
that
to
dude
make
was
you do a
promoting.
wrestling promo at the end of this and say that we can watch the pay-per-view together or whatever that guy was doing earlier.
Only
in
on
the show.
CBS 58.
Yeah, exactly.
you got to really just like only on CBS 58. You know. Oh my gosh, let's just say Tim Duncan since he just retired. I don't know.
Do I get an extra point if I can answer it?
Kevin, your answer is wrong, unfortunately. But Lance, just for the fun of it, you can answer the question.
The man who coined the phrase, all you jealous punks can't stop my dunks, Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh,
yes,
no.
Yes.
I should have known that.
See?
Yeah, so it was on the red carpet at the ESPYs, too, actually. The rumor right now, though, is that it's going to be taking place in March 2017. So something to look forward to. The two shook hands, and they chatted with it. I was at the ESPYs on the red carpet. They were just chatting, and all of a sudden they're like, hey, why
That's
don't
a
we
lot
do
of
this?
humanity in one ring, by the way.
The fact that this guy, the Big Show, is taller than Shaq. When Shaq was like looking up to him just a little bit, I'm like, if Shaq's looking up to you, that worries me a little bit. Honestly, I was like, good Lord.
Yeah.
So do you know who the Big Show is, or do you at least know who that
No,
is?
I know
Okay,
who
Kevin,
the
I
Big
was
Show
a little worried
No,
for a second.
I have pockets of I just lose reality for pockets of a week or two at a time. I must have missed that week.
All right.
Or month.
Or
year.
What are you going to do?
You mean it's not 1999 right now?
I'm going to feed him
You
some
can party
pudding
like it's
later.
1999.
We're going to have to put him to bed here pretty quick and feed him pudding. So we better end the show.
Well,
here
we'll
pretty
get to
quick.
that in a minute. So, Doug, the Rio Olympics are a hot mess. Truly they are. This week, what almost happened for the second time before the games have even started?
What happened? What almost happened?
What has almost happened?
What almost happened for the second time before the games have even started?
Boy, I don't know.
A wrestling match broke out.
Yes. How did you know?
I will say an athlete got banned.
No, that is incorrect. Somebody had the audacity to try to extinguish the Olympic torch. This is the second time it has happened. When somebody was running through a small village in Brazil, someone tried to throw a bucket of water on it. This time, somebody rushed security with the thingy. What's the
Fire extinguisher?
Yes, thank you. I was doing the visuals. Of the
He does not get a point for that.
He's looking for English today.
Yes.
As
the
That's always
thingy.
good for
how you-
audio.
Yes, that's only good. But thankfully, security tackled him to the ground. But it's amazing, though. The second time, though, I don't understand what people have anything better to do with their lives, that they're trying to
Well, they don't
extinguish
want.
the flame.
There are a lot of people in Brazil because of the economic, disparity that they have between the haves and the have-nots there, that they should be spending their money on something better than
I agree.
the Olympics, which is
I
a huge
don't
waste
think
of money.
that.
Look, just 2 years ago they had the Olympics in Sochi, and already then they spent billions and billions of dollars on all of the
venues and everything,
and the Olympic Village, and now it's just completely abandoned. It's just a big waste of money.
Someone just thought that extinguishing the torch was the definition of Brexit. Brazil.
Yes, Brexit, Brazilgit. I like it. Yes.
Well, folks, it's time for me to break up the fun once again. But when we come back, our final contestant will play a game we introduced just last week. Don't go away. You're listening to What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz.
You are listening to the Sports Podcasting Network. You're a big soccer fan? SPN is the place to be. USL Radio, NASL Nightcap, 2 Solitude Soccer Podcasts, Off the Woodworks, Ours is the Fury, 2S Extra, the rest of the story. SPN is the place to be.
Hey everyone, this is Baxter Colburn, host of What's the Score, the Sports News Quiz.
And I'm your game master, Josh Scheibe.
If you think you are smart enough, or smarter than a 5th grader, and want to play our games on air, you can either come by the studio or you can call us, but there's a few different ways you can get a hold of us.
If you'd like to email us, you can do so at WTSSportsQuiz@gmail.com.
Or for you social media savants, head over to Facebook, What's the Score, the Sports News Quiz, or Twitter, WTS Sports Quiz. Now back to the action with myself and Josh Scheibe.
Welcome back, everyone. This is What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz. I'm Josh Scheibe, your game master. Our Name 5 panelist showdown is coming up, but first we're going to be playing Which Sport Is It? Here to get the game going is your host at the Attention Era Media Studios here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's Baxter Colburn!
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, everybody. Just a reminder for you, please go check out our website, WTSSportsQuiz.com. You can sign up and become a contestant on our show. You can see where our panelists that are competing today fall on our leaderboard, upcoming shows, and so much more.
Time now to welcome in this week's final contestant. Playing our final game is Butter. Welcome to the show, Butter.
Hello, thank you for having me.
We're excited to have you here, Butter. All right, well, this, as you know, Butter, I know who you are. Swear, it's in front of me, I promise. The sports world is full of so many tricky and confusing terms describing what happens on the field, court, pitch, etc. So we thought putting a game together about some of the more interesting terms would be a very good and helpful idea.
In this game, which we're calling Which Sport Is It?, we will give you 7 sports terms, and you must tell us what sport that term commonly belongs to. Correctly answer at least 4 questions, and you will win a What's the Score prize. Remember, if you get stuck, you can ask one panelist for a hint, but only one time, so choose wisely. Are you ready to play?
Ready as I'll ever be.
All right. Your 3 sports that you're going to be choosing from this week, Butter, are skiing, lacrosse, and badminton. All right?
Okay.
All right. For your first question, if we said balance point, which sport would we be referring to? Skiing, lacrosse, or badminton? Balance point.
I'm going to say lacrosse.
No, that is incorrect, unfortunately. It's badminton. That's actually the center of mass of the racket. It's measured from the bottom of the grip to the center of the racket. All right, here is your next one.
If we said hard goods, what sport would we be referring to? Skiing, lacrosse, or badminton? That's hard goods.
Let's go with skiing.
Yes, that is correct. Nicely done. It's a kind of a catch-all term used to classify ski and snowboard equipment, including your skis, snowboards, boots, and bindings, etc. All right, here is your next one. If we said milk run, or mulk run, depending on how you pronounce the word milk, or leche run for our Spanish listeners. Yes. What sport would we be referring to? Skiing, lacrosse, or badminton?
You're going to have to say it again. I couldn't hardly hear you.
It was the mulk that got
Yes,
it.
if we said milk run, milk, like M-I-L-K, milk run, what would we be referring to? Skiing, lacrosse, or badminton?
I'm going to say badminton on that one.
No, that is incorrect, actually.
Bummer.
Skiing, actually. It's the first run of the day, the first run in early morning.
Fresh powder.
Yes, kind of like breakfast ball in golf. The milk run is your first time on the snow there. All right, here's your next one.
If we said face dodging, what sport would we be referring to? Skiing, lacrosse, or badminton?
Let's go skiing.
No, that is incorrect. No, remember
I am no good at this game.
You do have hints, remember, though, for the last couple of questions, just so you're a reminder. Face dodging is a part of lacrosse, actually. It's when a player with the ball cradles the stick across his face in an attempt to dodge a stick-poking defender. All right, here is your next one. If we said clamping, what sport would we be referring to? Skiing, lacrosse, or badminton? Clamping.
Let's go with lacrosse.
Yes, that is correct. Nicely done.
Yay.
Clamping. All right, here's your next one.
If we said patty cakes, what sport would we be referring to? Skiing, lacrosse, or badminton?
There's no toddlers involved?
Not to our knowledge, no.
Let's try badminton.
Yeah, that is correct. Nicely done. Patty cakes in badminton is a rally, typically by beginners, so maybe children, in which two players stand more or less very immobile and just kind of trade half smacked shots back and forth until somebody misses. Here is your last question. If we said Danish wipe, what sport would we be talking about? Danish wipe. Skiing, lacrosse, or badminton?
Skiing?
We're 5-year-olds.
We really are, apparently.
He said Danish wipe.
That wipe.
Can't take our panelists anywhere. No, actually, it was badminton. A Danish wipe.
I just turned into Beavis and Butthead.
It really did. Holy cow. It's a hybrid backhand stroke across between a lob and a dive.
At some point, I want Kevin to say that one of these in Spanish.
That was, we were going to do that before the show. Where
How would you say Danish wipe?
Well, no, but the key is that you say the key word as English as you can with everything around it. So it's like, esta noche estamos hablando del Danish wipe.
Oh, I love it. Game Master Scheibe, how did Butter do on our game?
She got 3 out of 7 correct. So close, but unfortunately not a winner today.
All right. Well, Butter, we thank you for playing our game today, and better luck next time as well.
All right, the moment you've all been waiting for is almost here. Stick around and listen to our panelists duke it out on the Name 5 Panelist Showdown coming up right after the break. You're listening to What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz. Hello all, I'm Josh Scheibe, your game master here at What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz. Thanks for listening in. I may not know much about sports, but what I do know about are our social media pages. Check us out on Facebook at What's the Score, or Twitter and Instagram at WTS Sports Quiz. Thanks very much for listening. Hi everyone, I'm your game master, Josh Scheibe.
And I'm your host, Baxter Colburn.
Hey, if you think the show is worth at least $1, why don't you go to our Patreon account?
We'd be very grateful if you donate to the show. That's how people like Josh and I stay employed, or pretend to be employed at least. Thank you so much for listening to What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz. And now, back to more sports trivia action.
Hope my check's in the mail. Hello and welcome back. Thanks for listening to What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz. I'm your game master, Josh Scheibe. Our panelists have been warming up for their final showdown. Lance has been demonstrating his suplexing skills during the break. While they get ready, here's your host at the Attention Era Media Studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Baxter Colburn.
feel like I need the John Cena theme. Like when you introduced me here, since it's kind of a wrestling-themed show. Well, Game Master Scheibe, we've had a fantastic show so far. We've had some contestants battle out for some great prizes. And now it is time for my favorite part of the show. What time is it, Game Master Scheibe?
It's time for the Name 5 Panelist Showdown! Our panelists will be given 4 topics in which they will have 10 seconds to name 5 people, teams, places, or things related to the sports world. Each panelist will have the same category. However, they cannot repeat answers. 1 point is awarded for each correct answer.
Game Master Scheibe, can you give us the scores, please?
I can. Doug and Kevin are tied with 1 point apiece.
Oh,
and Lance is in the lead with 3.
Oh, how interesting. The new kid on the block is taking the old dogs by storm. But we'll see here. All right. So we will be leading off with you, Kevin. We'll start with you, and then we'll go Doug and then Lance to start for this first round. You're going to be naming 5 current NFL backup quarterbacks. Current NFL backup quarterbacks. Backup. Current. They can be on any team, but current. 10 seconds and begin.
All right. Brett Hundley is one.
That's where you go.
Oh, man, this is not a good time to blank on stuff, is it? If you sat at home and did it, you'd be fine.
Time is up. He got 1. All right, Doug, you are up. 10 seconds and begin.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
Man, that's hard.
Right?
You already named Brett Hundley.
Time is up. A chance for Lance to extend his lead. He got 1 on that one. All right, Lance, 10 seconds. No repeating.
So
begin.
do I literally have to get 2 guys?
Well, for this round.
Okay.
You can get a maximum of 5 in 10 seconds.
Okay.
Because you got 4 rounds of this, so you want to get as many points as possible.
All right.
And begin.
Sean Hill, Scott Tolzien.
Yeah.
I'm wondering about Scott.
I'm gonna go around with Mike Glennon.
Yep.
This is where it gets a little. Yeah,
that's good.
Buccaneers quarterback.
The Buccaneers back up. That
Come on, Doug. Everybody knows about Mike Glennon.
Sure.
Come on.
Yeah, okay.
He got 3 on that one. All right.
All right.
Starting round number
Should've had
2.
more.
We'll start with you, Doug. You're going to be naming Olympic game host cities for the summer or the Winter Olympics.
Okay.
10 seconds and begin.
Athens, London, Beijing, Barcelona, and Sydney.
Cedarburg.
No, he got 4. Yeah, Cedarburg, yes. Oh, I've heard it's lovely there. So he got 4. All right, Lance, over to you. 10 seconds and begin.
Summer or winter.
Summer or winter.
And it can't be either one.
Can't be any repeaters.
Okay, so what did he say? Hold on 1 second. Which ones did he
say?
say?
Yeah, you got to be paying attention. 10 seconds and begin.
Berlin. We have Rio, because he did not say that.
It's true.
We have Seoul.
That's true.
We have Los Angeles, because he did not say that.
That is true.
I was going to say Montreal!
Kevin still has to go.
I know. I gave you one, Kevin. Sorry.
All right, Kevin, 10 seconds.
He can't remember yesterday.
And begin, Kevin.
Atlanta, Calgary, Lake Placid, Rome, Moscow.
Woo, you got 5.
Wow.
That's 5. That's 5.
Wow.
Now, Atlanta, I could have just
True,
said that
the
5
ATL,
times.
baby.
There you go. All right. Moving on to round number 3. I feel bad that Lance is leading off with this one.
Oh, boy.
5 wrestlers from...
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm going to preface this with the fact of, as being a panelist on the show.
5 highlight players.
You have to remember that there are other panelists that come through the show on a weekly basis as well.
Okay.
So you're going to be naming 5 What's the Score panelists.
Wow. Wow.
10 seconds and begin.
Doug Russell.
1.
Kevin Holden.
2.
Greg Matzik.
No.
Myself.
Yes, there you go.
3.
There you go. We got 3.
You gotta be kidding me.
This was not my idea. This one was not my idea. Think back to other people that you've heard about on the show or you've been on the show with.
For the love of crap.
The Big Show.
He named the 3 people here.
That's all I can think
You
of.
know it's going to be goose eggs for the 2.
All right, Kevin.
Man.
All right, Kevin. 10 seconds and begin.
I just want to say, just start
Say something in Spanish and then Chris Carter, like you do for us, Mike Jack.
Just missed it. All right, Doug. See, Doug's actually thinking now. He's thinking about people.
The only 2 that I can think
All
of
right,
is
wait.
Are we good? 10 seconds and begin.
Don Wadowitz.
Yep.
Dan Pfeiffer.
Yep. That's 2. Anybody else?
Let's see. Chuck Freeman. I don't know.
Oh, did you say George Foreman?
I said Chuck Freeman.
Oh, Chuck Freeman. No, we're trying to get
George Foreman.
I was like, George Foreman.
We're grilling
Next
burgers.
week, that'll be George Foreman. All right, as we head into the final round, Game Master Shivey, what are the scores? I probably could have kept score in my hand, but what was the score?
Kevin has 7 points. Doug has 8. And Lance is in the lead with 13.
Ooh. How interesting. Well, the way our last round works is that you are given 10 seconds to name as many of a certain. So if you, like Doug and Kevin, are a little bit farther behind Lance, you have an opportunity to shoot up, possibly. So who is in last place, Game Master Shivey?
That'd be Kevin.
Kevin, you have 10 seconds. 10 seconds to name as many past or present NFL head coaches. As many as you can in 10 seconds, past or present. Are you ready?
Ready.
Begin.
Mike Sherman, Mike McCarthy, Dan Reeves. Why am I doing Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Jimmy Johnson, Dom Capers.
There you go. He got 5. All right, he got 5. Mr. Russell, how far behind is he from Lance?
Doug has 8 points. He needs 5 or more.
Okay, yes.
Past or
Lance.
present, what again?
Head coaches.
Head coaches.
NFL head coaches. 10 seconds for Mr. Russell, and begin.
Curly Lambeau, Mike McCarthy, Bart Starr, Vince Lombardi, Gary Kubiak, Barry Switzer, Tom Landry, George Hallis.
Any more? Still have some time.
I was scribbling down as fast as I could.
There you go. Time is up. How many did he get? He
I
did
counted
repeat McCarthy.
7 because of McCarthy.
Yeah, so he got 7. So what does Lance need to tie and or win?
Lance needs 2 to tie and 3 to win.
Okay, so you have 10 seconds. So, I mean, obviously don't name just the 3 if you know more. 10 seconds. You cannot repeat, and begin.
Bud Grant, Mike Zimmer, Mike Ditka, Marty Morningweg, Steve Mariucci, Mike Tomlin.
There you go. He got 6. All right, Game Master Shivey, what are our final scores this week?
The final scores are Kevin in third with 12 points, Doug in second with 15, and Lance is the winner with 19 points.
Can you say I'm the winner in Spanish and then say my name very English, Kevin?
El ganador del premio de hoy, Lance Allan.
Baseball!
What's home run in Spanish?
You can say home run. You can. I mean,
not as fun.
That's not
Yeah.
as fun. You can say cuadrangular.
Now, I
But that
really
doesn't
want to
make
know
any
if
sense.
you've ever worked Rico Suave's lyrics in any of your calls.
Suavemente.
Ever. Have you ever?
It's weird. I didn't even know there was a cut the mic button until I started doing it. It was like all of a sudden nothing worked for 3 innings. It was odd.
It's very quiet. It was a very somber broadcast. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for being on the show this week. Lance, your first time on the show. What did you think of the What's the Score experience?
I loved it. It was actually fun. And
good.
Yeah, exactly. That's always a
We did our
positive,
job.
which
I'm
is
so
good.
glad.
Yeah, and these two knuckleheads, it was fun being on with them.
Yes.
Doug put up with our wrestling talk.
Right.
Next time we'll have a whole WWE theme show.
Yes.
with Kevin and I.
Exactly. And we'll have Matt come and do it as well.
exactly.
Jump on there. Doug, it was great to have you back on.
Thanks. I'm waiting for the category of bald sportscasters in America.
Wow.
In America or just in Milwaukee?
Or either or.
Because I feel
Does
like,
that
how many
include
can you name
hairpieces?
off the top of your head?
That are in
That are-
America?
Well, in Wisconsin. How about that? We'll limit you to Wisconsin. Because I can
They're
think of
putting
at
you on
least
the
3.
Let's see. Well, there's me.
Well, there's
I can
so
name
good.
myself like Lance did.
Yeah, that was legal. We didn't say it wasn't legal.
It's like the third person,
Yeah.
Lance won
Lance
this thing.
Allan.
Lance Allan was on this show.
Yes, he was. Ooh, what was that? Goodness.
was a mic
Anyway,
drop.
dropping the mic, apparently.
That was me. I
And,
don't finish third without
It's
dropping.
done.
the mic
I'm out of
somewhere.
here. And Kevin, what did you think too, sir?
Always a blast. Like I said, at the rate you're going, the next time I'm on here, you'll have 14,000 people in your cast.
I really
So
hope
pretty
so, honestly. I mean, it's we have a fantastic supporting cast, and we certainly could not do the show without them. So we appreciate it for all of you being on the show this week. What's the Score has been a production of the Sports Podcasting Network. Thank you to our contestants and studio audience here at the Attention Era Media Studios. Our panelists this week, in no particular order, have been Lance Allan, Doug Russell, and Kevin Holden. Our social media producer is Tony Larson. Our social media staff is comprised of Emily Reister, Brittany Peterson, John Kelly, Jessica Charman, and Christian Gill. Our theme was composed by Danny Hoffenstein. Our show producers were David Bobke, Caleb Pearson, and Liz Colburn. And the executive director of What's the Score is Liz Colburn.
I've been your game master, Josh Scheibe.
And I've been your host, Baxter Colburn. Thanks so much for listening in, and we'll see you all again back on July 31st for our next show. Until then, enjoy your week, and we'll see you next time on What's the Score?